that leads us into there's a lot of changes going on in WWE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it better without Vince McMahon?
Yes.
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 They're taking chances that they're actually taking chances. Rather, it's going to make them sink or swim, like, Cena, making Cena go heel, actually putting the belt on Cody, and just, they're going in the right direction, just putting the belt on people that truly deserves it, and I'm okay with that.
But I am going to say overall, yes, it is better off without Vince. But we can't forget that some of the stuff Vince does, because like a lot of people highlight like the bloodline. That was Vince.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The bloodline was Vince, and during that portion of the bloodline, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
The Cody thing, him winning, was Vince.
WrestleMania 40.
Yes.
Oh, really?
That was Vince. That was in the plans before any of the Vince stuff went down.
Okay.
But that was about it when it came to Vince.
So, I mean, obviously before we're talking about now. I think, and a lot of people, if you bring this up, Vince is the reason we have WWE. Yeah.
Yes.
100%. We get
absolutely.
that. We're not taking anything away from what Vince did and the Attitude Era and all the way up until he left. Like, Vince was who the WWE needed.
Right.
But I think within the last couple years, Vince had become too stuck in his ways to
Right.
He didn't
help
adapt with the
WWE
times.
progress. Yes.
He didn't adapt
He
with
was
the
not
times.
adapting. And I feel like there's a lot of things that you can look back and you could be like, that was Vince and he probably shouldn't have did that, but that's his thing. Like we've mentioned before, the whole Natalia farting thing.
Yes.
Like, she was in her prime and she was the best woman wrestler on the roster.
Yeah.
And you made her a joke by constantly farting. Every single big man turning into a dancing thing.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
Braun Strowman would 100% be a dancer right now if Vince was still there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like a lot of this stuff, like he also, this is just my theory, he wants certain people at a certain height, and if you get to a height he doesn't want you at, he's gonna shut it down.
Yeah.
Like Bryan Danielson.
I'm not even Bryan Danielson is an example.
Yeah.
The Hurt Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wanted to see the Hurt Syndicate versus the Bloodline. It never happened. And he forced them to break up.
The fact that Sting versus Undertaker didn't happen.
Yes.
Insane.
Yeah. Triple H.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like,
remember how popular Zack Ryder was?
Yeah, they said he was second behind merchant sales behind Cena at the time.
Yeah.
He shut him down.
Shut that down hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get popular on your own. You only get popular if I make you popular.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was over. That was it that woo. Is that what he did?
Woo woo woo.
And he was over. And I remember that. Remember they had the little love story going on with him and Eve
Torres.
Eve, and then Cena got involved, and but you're right. Like every time like someone does get over, he just, like you say, if you're not like Triple H, Cena,
if you're not who he wants to be over,
I think
it's not going to happen.
I think I agree with what you're saying. They're taking a lot more chances.
Yeah.
Every single show this past week,
mm-hmm.
ended in a title change. Every single show. Monday night, Io Shirai won the women's championship off a women's heavyweight. On NXT, Shawn Spears won the title.
I'm so happy for him.
Yeah,
he'll always be Ty Dillinger to me.
Yeah,
perfect 10.
Yep. But yeah,
I'm so happy for him because he is a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
And then on SmackDown, LA Knight won the U.S. title off of Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't ever remember that happening. And it was funny because after Monday night, somebody had tweeted out like, wow, I would love to see WWE have more titles change hands on weekly shows. It was like, it never seems to happen.
Yeah.
Then it happened every single show this week. And I was like, wow, like.
Yeah, you do stuff like that because then it takes that, oh, I know what's going to happen thought out of your mind. Because like you said, your mind was made up. It was Rhea versus
Bianca
Belair.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you were like, you went into Monday night like, oh, there's no way Io's winning.
Yeah. Even when Io came out at the Elimination Chamber, I'm like, why are they trying to act like she even has a chance against Rhea?
Exactly.
Monday? I'm like, it's clearly going to be Rhea versus Bianca. Then when she lost, I'm like, holy crap, what happened? Like,
yeah. It gives you that feeling that I can't miss an episode because something might happen.
Yeah.
And that's needed.
Yeah. So
now
I don't think you do that with Vince still in charge.
No.
I don't see that happening.
No.
So,
Roman probably still have the belt. Charlotte will have the belt again. Even if she hasn't, you know what I mean? But taking the safe route in his words, but
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I said, we can appreciate everything Vince has done.
Yeah.
Of course.
And still look and be like, this is
what you did in the past doesn't mean you're exempt from what you've done later. Like, you were great back then. Okay, cool. It doesn't mean you're great now. Like, Emmitt Smith was a great running back in the 90s. I guarantee he won't do great right now.
When did you think it started getting bad for Vince?
Around
like 2010.
The 2010s was a real low point. Once CM Punk left,
okay,
John Cena stopped showing up as much.
Then the whole Diva era was
the Diva era is just embarrassing. Like, how do you go from having great wrestlers like Trish Stratus and Lita and such?
Beth Phoenix.
I will say though, it eventually gave us the AJ Lee pipe bomb, and that was the change that the women's division needed.
But it shouldn't even come to that. Is my point. You shouldn't need to have done that. Yeah. Like, when you got people who can't wrestle as multiple time women's champions, like, that's embarrassing.
They got them in the Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I'd say, somewhere around the 2010s is when he really started to fall off. I mean, he had his moments that was bad before then as well, but the stretches of bad really was around the 2010s.
Okay.
But you know what? I think, to me, that's when NXT became
the number one show.
The standard. Yeah.
Yes. That's when I was like, because right then is when I stopped watching wrestling on Raw and SmackDown pretty much. That's when I was like, okay, I'm only watching NXT.
And what Triple H was doing with NXT at that time was amazing. I think every NXT takeover was, from top to bottom, amazing.
Amazing.
And I think even which one of y'all posted something the other day, was like, what was the best WWE pay-per-view or WWF pay-per-view?
Yeah.
And I was like, NXT 2016, I think it was. And then I was like, oh, it said WWF. I was like, hold on, let me, rephrase that and pick my real one. I'm like, instantly when I seen what was the best, and I thought it was WWE pay-per-view, I'm like, it has to be an NXT. I was like, top to bottom, these things were amazing.
Yeah.
And
because there was times where some of the NXT was out doing the WrestleMania shows, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Vince would call up the NXT stars and just
bury them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get popular off of him.
Right.
So, like, for instance, Andrade was amazing in NXT.
Yes.
He was amazing. Finn Balor, amazing. The Demon was so over in NXT, and Finn's still one of my favorite wrestlers.
You can go down the line. DIY, they didn't get really pushed.
Yep.
FTR didn't get really pushed.
Right.
The Ascension, you see what they did to the Ascension?
The Ascension was so great in NXT.
So great.
I thought I was like, they are going to destroy it on the main roster. And then it was like he tried to turn the Authors in the Pain into them.
Yeah,
And it was like no one cared about them.
Like he destroyed everyone. Like the only one I remember coming up from NXT with any type of good push was Kevin Owens.
I was about to say Kevin Owens, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. And that's because he got John Cena right away. And it was like when he won the United States title right away. So, yeah.
Like, everyone else got kind of relegated.
Paige
had a good run.
Because I'm about to say
start.
Paige right away. She won
the Divas title immediately.
Yeah, off of AJ.
So we're not going to say what she did with that title, but
it was Xavier's fault.
But anyway,
I love when the Usos cut that promo.
Oh, and during the rap battle,
X-rated
like Xavier Woods. But who he ruined Shinsuke Nakamura.
Like they changed his music.
The aura around Shinsuke Nakamura when he was in NXT was unreal.
Why did they change his music?
Well, I know the first time they changed it when they like started adding like words.
Yeah.
Is because he went heel and they didn't want people singing along.
Okay.
So by throwing words into the music, you can't do the little chant like people used to do.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
But like everyone, like I'm just trying to think down the line, everyone who was great. He ruined Bobby Roode because once he went up to the main roster, it was just all about Glorious.
Yeah.
Nothing else mattered. Like everyone, you just go down the line. Each guy that came up from NXT, he just did nothing with them.
Was Damian Sandow in NXT?
No,
but Damian Sandow, they dropped the ball with him and Cody.
Oh yes,
they dropped the ball
scholars.
When he threw the briefcase into the ocean.
Yeah,
I was like, this right here could lead to like a good feud over like the world heavyweight title.
Yeah, they dropped the ball.
They just dropped the ball with both of them, and
then they had him doing all that wild stuff, which was hilarious. Though I ain't gonna like.
That's where he made himself get over.
Yeah,
with the Miz stunt double.
And the Vince, and he did the Vince thing, and
yep. So you're right. They dropped the ball with a lot of people coming up. Even I won't say they dropped the ball with her, but even when Asuka first lost,
she did not need to lose.
She didn't need to lose at all. Like, she
did not need to lose to Charlotte.
And I'm a fan of the Queen.
She did not lead. That's my issue. Like, there was no reason for Charlotte to win.
Right.
She gained nothing from it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's. I think the product is better to watch now since Vince is gone.
Speaking of which, I can't wait till Asuka comes back because she's so good.
You're right. Yeah. But it feels like when they capture lightning in a bottle now with certain people, they're like, okay, let's push them.
Let's lean into it.
Right.
Let's lean into it. Oh, this is going on. Okay, let's see where it takes us.
Right. I don't think main event Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble with Vince is there.
No.
I think that would 100% have been Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, I don't think we get the Cena heel turn.
No.
So, yeah, like I said, we can appreciate what Vince has done.
Yeah,
still say moving forward it is better without him.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I think that's where a lot of like the fanboys get a little upset when, you ask this question, like, what Vince did, and Vince is the reason we have this. Yeah, and we can appreciate that, but still say moving forward it is better without him.
Yeah.
And then they're also doing like the 2010s, with on the Diva era, the tag team division was horrible too.
Yeah.
He hates tag teams.
Yeah. But SmackDown's tag division is terrible right now. But
which is crazy because back in the late the 80s and the early 90s, even into the early 2000s, tag teams was where it was at.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s, so many great wrestlers have come from a tag team. Hart Foundation, the Rockers. I'm trying to think.
Midnight Express,
Steiners,
Road Warriors.
Yeah, so that was your bread and butter, and then then you just Primo and Epico. Like, Primo and Epico. Like, come on.
I call Luis Groza or whatever their name
Los
is.
Matador.
I call them Primo and Epico 2.0 right now.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, which is a shame because they're not bad wrestlers.
No, I'm not saying they're, and I don't think Pretty Deadly's bad wrestlers either. It's just nothing about them
is appealing to you,
right? Like I said, Pretty Deadly. Just you've tried this gimmick so many times, and it never really pans out.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they're doing it again. They're the number one contenders now, but I feel like SmackDown only has DIY, the Street Profits, and Motor City Machine Guns, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're trying to add in Pretty Deadly and Luis Garza, but it's like I don't care about them. So.
Yes, but overall, I do agree that it is better without Vince. Like you said, we can thank him, appreciate for what he's done, but it's okay to move on.
Even the TNA crossover.
That would have never happened. Never happened.
We're getting Moose versus
Oba
Femi. Like, I want to watch that match.
Yes, I do.
And that would have never happened.
No, if anything, he would have bought TNA and tried to bury him.
Yeah.
Like he did WCW.
And ECW.
Yeah, and ECW, absolutely.
Joe Hendry at the Royal Rumble was one of the biggest pops.
Yeah.
And it's like you would have never, because Vince wanted to pretend that nothing else WWE existed.
Right.
And so yeah, I think it's great. I want to see more of them, mixing in with TNA, see where it leads to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly can't wait to see Moose versus Oba Femi.
I do want to see AJ Styles pop up on TNA one day. He has to show up at least once.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
You got to.
Yeah. So.
Word.
I think Nick Namath needs to come to WWE one time. I think, and he has to come out to his Dolph Ziggler music. I think it'll.
Is his brother still in AEW, or he leave AEW?
He left.
He left.
He filed a lawsuit against them and CM Punk.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Why Punk?
Yeah.
Bullying. He said he was bullying him when he was in AEW, and then AEW covered it up or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what it was, but something like that.